DC could sign off on 2 coronavirus vaccine booster shots. These would be for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. On Friday, the FDA approved J&J's booster for people 18 and over. And the day before that, a half dose of Moderna was approved for people 65 and older. And Dr. Oz joining us right now with the very latest on both of these. Great to see you, Doc. Hope you had a good weekend.
I had a good weekend. I was saddened this morning. Colin Powell, who I knew well, as you know, just passed away from COVID-related complications, and it speaks to this booster issue you brought up. J&J and Moderna now have joined Pfizer in being allowed to offer these vaccines to older people in the case of Pfizer and Moderna, and to everybody for J&J. The FDA will approve that panel recommendation, I suspect, over the next week.
And Dr. Oz, there was concern, that it took so long to get these boosters approved, that we knew that the vaccines weren't working as well against the Delta variant, that there could be people who would sort of fall into that crack in the middle and not get that booster soon enough. Is that one of your concerns?
Well, I have that concern for older Americans. I think we need to start customizing our advice. So if you're older, most of the deaths now are occurring in people who are over the age of 80. It's that frail population. Again, Colin Powell was 84, big, strong man, but older nevertheless. That's the population that must get the booster shots as soon as possible. And this new development, I think, is good. But I don't think 25-year-olds need to get booster shots necessarily. The evidence there is not nearly as clear. That's why the panel, and I've interviewed them for the show, have argued that the potential complications still are there, but the benefits aren't clear because those young people don't seem to get very sick. So let's hold off on them.
One of the other things that we heard over the weekend was Dr. Fauci say that, you know what, maybe the J&J shot should have had a second dose a lot sooner, that there shouldn't have been this big gap, that perhaps that, it didn't do as well against the Delta variant for that reason. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if you can make that accusation against the process. I think the J&J vaccine worked well enough with one dose that no one was complaining about it. Only now, when we have Delta variant breakthrough, there are people noticing that the J&J vaccine wasn't as protective. I'd rather get a second shot now, not having had them both, 6 months ago, than get them all at the same time. We may actually find out that was the right thing to do for the other vaccines as well. We don't actually know if other techniques would have worked better because we never tested them.
Right. We know that, the FDA advisory panel has made this recommendation. Now we have to wait for the next step. How long do you think before people will actually be able to go get the Moderna and the J&J booster?
Well, in fairness, you can go right now. I mean, no one's going to police you. We did a little undercover work on the show, and I found that pharmacies will give you the pill or the shot as soon as you ask for it. They're not really quizzing people about whether they meet criteria. And remember, the criteria are pretty vague. It's if you're a frontline worker, you qualify for a vaccine. And so you can just walk in there and say, well, I serve food at a restaurant, or, I bag stuff at the grocery store, and you would qualify. You don't have to be a surgeon and, with your scrubs on. And I think that's the reality. If people want it, they can get it. And I think even, this week, it'll be robustly allowed for people who had other vaccines to go get it legitimately as well.
We keep hearing these mixed advice about the holidays. Can we celebrate Thanksgiving with family? Can we celebrate Christmas with family? I mean, people are going to do what they want anyway, but I'm sure people are asking you, what do you think?
I'm very clear. I'm not hesitant. And I felt the same thing last year. I'm going to spend the holidays with my family. I'm going to have a good time. We're going to have more people dying from deaths of despair than from this virus. And I don't want to accentuate that. In fact, on the show today, I've got Sanjay Gupta coming on, who I think feels similarly that we have COVID illnesses causing brain problems, but we also have the social isolation and loneliness causing big-time brain problems. So let's minimize harm. You can go trick-or-treating outside and not have a significant risk of infection, especially if you're a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the kids are looking forward to it. I'm going to eat an extra Snickers, too. Dr. Oz, always great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you.
Stay well. Take care. God bless.
You too. All right. Remember, you can catch Dr. Oz weekdays at 2 o'clock right here on Fox 35.
And we do have another Fox 35.